Hello everyone. Recently I made a video about beating the Barbarian Madman with level 5 brother, and I've just found an improvement for the method. So apparently you can do it with level 3 guy, and this time I will be using this hunter. You can see he's pretty much average. I believe he min rolled or close to min rolled his ranged attack, and he has average values of fatigue and initiative. So he's just an average guy. The key to cheese the madman is you should go second. So you should have lower initiative than him. Barbarian Madman has initiative value of 39 to 48. There is a difference because he can spawn with a named cleaver which can have different fatigue values. So I would suggest you to have like 30 initiative, and for that you will need to equip your guy with heavy armor, and I will also use berserk chain because it is just a heavy weapon. So in fact you can get away without melee weapon at all, because if you just use your fist it will count as a melee weapon. But for example, pike would not count as melee weapon, it would count as reach weapon. So let's level up our guy. So I will pick melee attack, ranged attack and fatigue. So for perks you need Pathfinder and quick hands. In fact, you only need quick hands if you are lucky enough and you find a battlefield with 6 light snow tiles in a row. You can kite the madman there, but I will use Pathfinder because you can only take quick hands on level 3 anyway, and Pathfinder is just a good perk. So for the weapons I choose, so I will not attack him with the berserk chain, of course. I will just attack him with the pike and with the sling. So pike I will use to strip his armor off and to finish him off, and in between I will use nomad sling to fish for the injuries. I hope after watching this video you will have understanding on how all these things work, and you can pick up the setup yourself, preferred like what you want, and based on your brother, his perks, or like that. But I will use this. I have to mention that so first of all, I choose Goblin Pike because it is 5 AP polearm. You don't need mastery for that. So if you have polearm mastery, you can use like Billhook and it will be fine. But there is a little problem with Goblin Pike. It has quite low durability, and I did one test fight and I won, but it was a really close call. So my sling was broken and my Goblin Pike was really close to being broken. So I think if you get like really mean rolls, you will get into trouble. So to overcome this, I will just use mushrooms. So now I have plus damage, and I will just so durability will be just enough to strip off his armor. Okay, so now let's jump into the fight. Okay, so first of all, here we have 31 initiative, which is enough. We have lower initiative than him, but in this round we went first because we have impatient perk, trait. So how you kite him is you go back to tiles, for example. You should create 3 tiles gap between you and him, and if you have a melee weapon, he will not rush you. So I suppose it happens because he doesn't want to give you free hit, So, for example, if he would rush 3 tiles here, you would attack him. You would attack him this turn per 9 AP, and you will have would have 9 AP left for the next turn. So AI thinks that it is a smart move, but in fact we can utilize it. So now from this position we can perform the kiting. So we move 4 tiles back. So we should create 5 tiles gap between us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, it's 1, 2. So yeah, that's enough. So he will either go here or here. So we are safe next turn. So we can pull out a Goblin Pike or Nomad Sling. So I will use Goblin Pike. We attack, go back, and switch to the melee weapon back. So now we have again 3 tiles gap between us, and he will not rush. So we can safely end our turn. So now I can reposition myself. So now I cannot switch out to the pike because there is only 4 tiles gap between us, and if I have a Goblin Pike in hands, he would just rush me no matter what. End my turn. Yeah, now I just repeat. So you have to know that there is no corner, there are no like barriers like trees or boulders. So I might cut some parts of this off or like speed up until the fight goes into the next stage, because here I will just repeat the process forever until I strip off his armor. Okay, so now he has pretty low body armor. So from now I will stop using the pike. So the reason is pike is a piercing weapon, and each weapon has its own. Sorry, each damage type has its own injury pool. And for example, piercing pool includes pierced leg, or like pierced leg muscles, which would make him lose, I don't remember, like 20% of his initiative, which may cause some problems. So once he loses initiative, he may go second, and as I told you before, if he goes second, he can catch you. You cannot kite him anymore. So if you are confident in what you are doing, so if you have like, I don't know, 0 initiative, I haven't tested this out really, but if you have really low, maybe you can just continue doing it with the pike, or if you broken your sling, I don't know, you can just continue doing it with the pike. You still have like very decent chances to beat him, but I will just show the safest way. I will now switch to the pike for kiting purposes. Oh, sorry, for the sling. And the reason is that a sling has a blunt type weapon, blunt type damage, and the blunt injury pool has some really useful ones for us. Namely, we can cause him bruised leg or sprained ankle, and both of these injuries give him penalty to initiative, which is bad, but at the same time he will spend 1 more AP per each tile moved. So he will only move 3 tiles per turn, and we will move 4. So which would mean that we can kite him like completely trivial. So now I'm switching to the sling. Oh, now it's like pretty good that I hit his head, because I have to show this case off, because it is pretty dangerous. So now I go back as usual to tiles and switch to the to melee weapon. But notice now that we go first, so it is a bit of a problem. It happened because he is dazed, but so what we need to do now is we need to run 4 tiles back. So if I would run 2 tiles, he would just wait for me to end my turn, he would run towards me, and on the next turn he goes first and he will just catch me. So I have to absolutely run maximum range. By the way, I already lost like this because it is not obvious one to notice, but you know my mistake and make sure to not repeat it. So now I will continue my kiting. Okay, so now I finally gave him the required injury, sprained ankle. So now he can only move 3 tiles per turn. So you can just continue to kiting him like you did before. Yeah, especially he still goes first. For some reason I didn't actually expect that. But so, for example, you can do just the same as you did before. You can, but now you go back 3 tiles. So you create only 4 tiles distance between you, because he can only move 3. So he will move 1, 2, 3 here. You pull out a sling. Oh, you can even do it with the pike, I forget. So you pull out a sling and you turn. He rushes you. You attack him again and go back and switch to the melee weapon. And so the next turn, it doesn't matter if he goes. Oh, by the way, we just made a second required injury, bruised leg. So now he can only move 2 tiles per turn. But even if he could move 3, it doesn't matter if he goes first or second anymore, because if we go first, we just go back 4 tiles and we can create a gap. And if he goes first, he will just wait. But for now, I'll just finish him off with the pike. Yeah. So he will move here. I take a pike. Yeah, so it only took 80 rounds, but I have to say I got pretty lucky with injuries. So you may you may not, like, if you get really unlucky, you roll 0 of required injuries, but this is like pretty rare. And even if you don't roll anything, you can just continue beating him up with a pike. It would be risky because at one point he may get pierced leg or ripped ear, and he could go first. Sorry, he could go second. But if you injure him, so it would mean that he has a pretty low HP. So at this point, you can try to brute force him, and you will have pretty reasonable chances to beat him. For example, if you take an arming sword instead of berserk chain, like I did, you can drop a dog. You can, especially if you have one-handed weapon, you can use like a net. So he will have like 100 HP. He will be absolutely beaten up. So he will have like fractured hand, broken ribs, and all the stuff. So he will have low chance to hit. You will still be able to beat him. I can say this is risky, but you still have very good chances. So yeah, that's it. Also, maybe I can talk about how to fix this cheese for devs. So first of all, they can just change his behavior to being more aggressive. So for example, they can code it that way that he will always rush you. But this is not that good because if he rushes you, it would allow you to attack him basically for free. So you will use 9 MP once he rushes you, and you can use 9 MP next turn. So I would better suggest to just leave his behavior as it is, but just give him a really negative initiative, like minus 1000, something ridiculous. So that he will always go second, and you cannot perform this cheese anymore. But anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.